Ever wonder if you can lock in the price of your health insurance? In this video, we're gonna talk about just that. Think of it like inflation insurance, except with your healthcare. Prices for everything seem to just have been going up and up and up over the past few years. And I want you to think long-term for a minute here. Similarly, the marketplace insurance has gone up and up and up in price, but the quality has gone down. So what I think about and refer to as inflation-proof insurance can help families and individuals really mitigate the impact of high rising prices over time. So is this even real? Can I actually mitigate these rising costs of healthcare over time? What I refer to as inflation insurance is really underwritten insurance. And so what the idea behind underwritten insurance is you get enrolled in a plan. They take you as you are at the time. So if you're young and healthy, you do this like early on in life, you're able to kind of lock in, like grandfather in a price for your health coverage that then over time will help you really save money over time. And some of these can actually, you can stay with until you're 65. That's the really long-term ones. Some plans, if you want something a little bit more short-term, some plans will give you a 2 or 3 year rate guarantee. And not only will you save money by over time by locking in the premium, but you will actually be insured with a group of people who are healthy and they're less likely to file a lot of claims. And so what that does is it keeps your insurance premium down. And so you'll already have a lower rate than when you compare it to the marketplace. So the idea of underwriting on the front end, which means that you let the insurance company know this is my health condition. They ask you a series of questions that will determine whether you can pass the underwriting guidelines. So you getting into that, like I call it the velvet rope. Kind of like if you're able to get into that, then you're in the club, you're in the VIP section, you know, and so not everybody can get into that velvet rope, because if everybody was able to get into it, it would be kind of just like the marketplace, where like eventually the quality would go down because the prices would just keep getting more expensive. But the fact that they do the underwriting on the front end on these plans means that even if something catastrophic happens to you once you're already in, your coverage will stay the same. And so especially if you have a guaranteed renewable plan till you're 65, no matter what condition you have later on, which could potentially be such an expensive crisis for your family, you won't have to deal with that because you'll already be underwritten and you'll have the best coverage possible. Whereas like if you already had the condition before you got the plan, they wouldn't have taken you. So this might sound a little bit too good to be true. Well, it kind of is in the sense that not everybody can have it. So we talked about that velvet rope idea, right? Where not everybody can get on this underwritten type of coverage. So the best way to understand this is to talk about the marketplace and how the marketplace is different. The marketplace is really the other option, the other main umbrella of an option for people who are self-employed and are not covered by a job or by a spouse's job. And so on the marketplace, it's under the Affordable Care Act. They have to take everybody. So they don't consider any your health condition, any pre-existing conditions. They don't consider any of that. They're not allowed to. And they don't ask any medical questions on the application. Your rate that you pay is actually just based on your zip code and your age. And so you're insured with basically everybody else. And so if you're a healthy person and you don't have any pre-existing conditions, you're gonna get the same rate as someone that's your same age, same zip code, that does have a lot of pre-existing conditions. So while that person may be costing the insurance company a lot of money and you're barely not costing them anything, you guys are gonna pay the same premium. That's just how it works on the marketplace. And also the quality of the marketplace over the years has gone down because they're trying to keep it affordable. And so in trying to keep it affordable, they've got to like narrow the access to the doctors and hospitals that you can see and localize the coverage a little bit more. So, you know, that's what kind of keeps it a little bit more affordable than what an underwritten plan would give you. Also with Affordable Care Act plans or the marketplace, they are required to cover certain things. So they have to pay benefits on psychiatry, all mental health, even drug and alcohol rehab and things like that. They have to pay benefits on maternity as well. So if you ever get a baby, they have to pay benefits on that. And so all of those services, they're great if you really need them, but they cost the insurance companies a lot of money. They're kind of a losing point for them. And so what happens is, if you don't need those things right now, if you're not looking to have a baby, or for example, for a man, he's not going to have a baby, he's going to be paying for coverage that includes maternity coverage the whole time, just like everybody else. So there's a way to bring your insurance costs down if you don't need certain things, but on the marketplace, they have to cover all of those things. The one exception where the marketplace may actually be more affordable is when you qualify for a government subsidy. So people that make very low income, they may qualify for a government subsidy, which is when the government actually pays a portion of their monthly premium. And so the same plan that would cost this guy that makes a good income, you know, he doesn't qualify for any subsidies. Let's say they're paying like full price for a plan, that the person that's on the low income end, they can actually get the same plan and pay a quarter of the price, and sometimes like dollars. And so in those types of cases, it may make sense to take a marketplace plan. So going back to the idea of locking in your health coverage and these underwritten plans, okay, how do you know if it's the best thing for you? So assuming that you would medically qualify for one of these underwritten plans, these are some of the pros to having them. So really there's nothing to lose. You don't lose anything in applying and in getting onto one of these plans. They're really amazing coverage. And then like worst case scenario, you're still gonna pay less than if you were on the marketplace. So worst case scenario, if the plan doesn't fit for you later on, or you have to get off of it, or you then can qualify for a marketplace subsidy and that's a better option for you. If you don't qualify for a subsidy right now, then you really don't have anything to lose. And along with that nothing to lose idea, you are not bound to any kind of contract. So even though the insurance will give you a guaranteed rate for a certain amount of time, that doesn't bind you to where if you wanted to cancel or move to a different plan that you couldn't do that. All health insurance is month to month. So as long as you pay your monthly premium on these underwritten plans that guarantee your rate, as long as you pay that monthly premium every month, they're gonna cover you. But if you decide to break that contract yourself, if you decide to stop paying for whatever reason or change to a different plan, you can do that. So you really don't have anything to lose. Another pro to having underwritten coverage is that it's all about access. I always say PPO underwritten equals access. Access to the best doctors and hospitals. So the network is what you're gonna wanna look at in this case. And so a lot of these underwritten plans, like the one I have personally for my family, has nationwide coverage. So I have the same coverage in every single state that I go to. When I moved from Miami, Florida to Nashville, Tennessee, I did not have to change my health insurance. And so remember, we've talked about some in other videos about locking in your price and what you gain from financial savings if you have the same plan for long term. If I were to not have a plan like that and I moved states, I had to change, I would lose that benefit. But having coverage outside of the state and the same coverage nationwide really guarantees that I have access to the best doctors and hospitals, whether I travel a lot or whether I'm going to be moving in the future. Another benefit of having a PPO, an underwritten PPO, is that a lot of times they'll pay out-of-network benefits, which means that you can go to a doctor who doesn't take insurance and you can ask them for a super bill and then self-file that. And when you self-file that claim, you'll get reimbursed from your insurance. And a lot of people don't know that because a lot of other plans don't have that, definitely not on the marketplace. So for all my entrepreneurs out there, self-employed, especially if you're in a startup and you really are in that building, grinding phase of your business, you could really benefit from having some stability in what your expenses are. And so with a lot of these plans, you could lock in your rate for two years, even up to 3 years. And again, that like long-term idea will just help you keep your premium down to where you're not dealing with like a yearly increase every single year. So one thing that's really important to add here is that, like I mentioned, that some plans will give you a 2 or 3 year rate guarantee. Just make sure that those plans are not short-term plans if you're looking for longevity and really locking in the price of your healthcare. Because what happens with some of these short-term plans that are underwritten is after the 2 or 3 year, whatever they give you time, let's say you had a health condition, you know, during that time, they may not accept you because what you have to do is go through underwriting again before your plan renews. So just keep that in mind. That's something to consider. So I know I just gave you a lot of information. It can be overwhelming, but if you're shopping for insurance, just know that I'm here to help you. I would love to connect with you, and my services are free because the insurance company pay me really well to be able to help you really well with all of your options. So reach out to me on alexthehealthagent.com or Instagram. And if you like this video, please share it and comment and subscribe.